Hi, how are you? Nice to see you. I'm back here. And here this week I'm going to be talking about unboxing something really special. And it is Canon EOS R. So I've been shooting Nikon for years, but in a very long story, which probably has to be a video of its own, and some time in the future, I lost all of my equipment. My equipment was damaged. In fact, no, my equipment was destroyed maliciously. And so I've been in the process of rebuilding slowly. And thanks to the grace of God and a client of mine, I am opening up this gift, which is a birthday gift coming early. I haven't actually shot anything on Canon for a very long time. It's gonna be quite a new thing to be switching from Nikon to Canon. In my previous kit, because I do largely food photography, food styling, so it's still as well as travel photography and portraiture. So those are my main subject areas in photography. And in terms of my equipment, I also do videography as well. So my kit that I had before consisted of a Nikon D800, which I got when it was really hard to come by. I paid $4,500 for that camera, literally, in Dubai. When it came out, I had to actually go through the Nikon dealership, go through the Nikon PR to be able to get it, because nobody could get their hands on it. And they had a few units, and I got one of the first units of the D800. And that has been a faithful tool in my kit for a long time until it was destroyed. So I had Nikon D800. I also had the Nikon 24-70 f2.8, another really good lens. I only dealt with fast glasses. I went with completely professional equipment because that was what I wanted to. I took 15 years to be able to have enough to start investing in photography, and when I started investing, I invested well. So I had the Nikon 24-70 f2.8 that retails for about $2,000, and the one that I use a lot for food photography was my 105 Nikon 105 millimeter f2.8 macro. Beautiful lens. And the one I traveled mostly with, my Nikon 50 millimeter f1.4. The 105 macro f2.8 it sells for around $800 and something, and the f1.4 for $500 and something like $600. So that's the kit that I'm coming from, and this is the kit that I'm getting. So that was a DSLR. This is my first mirrorless camera. I've come from going from film. I started photography when I was in film. I used to load film cartridges and stuff. I mean, I started photography really when I was 9 years old with one of those, is it a 9mm camera? Those long ones. And I got one from my cousin Kiva. Auntie Rose gave me this 9mm camera. I think it's 9mm. If I'm not right with 9mm, but you know which one I'm talking about, the long one here. And it had that cartridge that was like this, and that was the first one I had when I was 9 years old. It fell into a pool when I was 11, and then eventually I inherited my father's Canon when I was a teenager, and film was expensive, and I was in dark rooms, I was in camera clubs, in black and white camera clubs. I also studied still photography professionally when I was 16 years old in one of the top media training institutes in the Caribbean called CPTC, the Creative Production and Training Center, and that's still a place that I got so much media training in, so it's still very dear to my heart. But having said all that, I decided when I was going to, in 2009, after several years of really wanting to be able to buy my own camera, I decided to buy a D700, and that was my first foray into the DSLR. And by 2011, I got a book deal. I was contacted to shoot a book deal, so I had a deal to travel and do travel photography for a coffee table book, and I was being paid for it. And I decided to invest all of what I was earning into really solid equipment. So I bought a $5,000 upgrade on an iMac. I also bought the D800, and the other lenses I had from before. I had the Nikon f2.8 macro 105 millimeter. I bought that in Dubai as well, out of earnings that I got in working for the Tavola, the largest fine kitchen and table retailer in the Middle East, and I was in control over all the stores, and that's over 6 countries. I was not in control, but I handled marketing and content creation for those all of those stores. So having said all of that, we're 7 minutes in and I still haven't gone into it. So we're gonna get into this box. But I had to tell you all of that because it's been a long time coming. It's been months since I've been able to shoot, and there's just so much going on right now. And it took me I got this thing from yesterday evening, and I just took it out of the shipping box from the FedEx box, and it's been like this in this box on my desk for all this time. It's in the morning the next day later, so I haven't even charged the battery. It's just, after having gone through that, where I got that fight where my equipment was maliciously destroyed that I actually worked so hard to purchase, and now being able to get something back in my hand, being gifted this, I'm really very grateful. So I just want to give God all the glory and all the praise for this, because I know from where my help comes, it comes solely and completely from Him. And I'm just full of gratitude. So getting into this, the EOS R has, of course, the first thing that I will read, which is this. I think I should have actually come here with scissors and a knife. I've never done an unboxing. This is my first unboxing video. So I'm not a pro. I don't do tech reviews, but I'm doing the tech stuff for the things that I do, because a lot of people have asked me about tech things, and because I work professionally in food and lifestyle photography and videography and production. I have a strong production background. I'm trained in production. I'm a producer, presenter, I have a radio show, all of these things, and I've been in production since I was 16, so that 25 years next year in the industry. So people have asked, and I'm sharing all the things I use. When I was using my iPhone 5 alone, I shared that. No, iPhone 6 Plus, I shared that I was using only an iPhone 6 Plus, and now I wanted to see all the things that I'm using in my kit, all the things that I acquire little by little in order to do what I do, because my whole aim is to really enrich and enhance your life, because if I can do it, then so can you. Boo boo. So read your manual. There's this thing about women not reading manuals, and you know what, the truth is, it is true for me. I can't speak for every woman, but it's true for me. Except for, you better believe that when it comes on to my cameras, I read the manual. That's the first thing I really want to do. And in fact, what I was thinking, perhaps I should have found an online version before the camera came, because I waited so long for it. But I'm gonna read the manual. The battery, which is really good because the battery life is off the wazoo. I usually get an extra battery, at least one extra battery, but because this one is so long, I'm going to go and ride with this one for as long as I can. when I have another gig, another paid gig, then I will actually invest in extra batteries for the sake of having backups, because professionals have backups. And that's a huge thing about being a professional. You can't necessarily... I was taught by Salim Almas, who is a friend of mine who passed away, but one of the things he told me in terms of moving into professional photography when I went to Dubai was, you can't call yourself a real professional photographer if you only have one camera on a shoot. You have to have a backup. What happens if the camera stops working? Worse if it's a wedding or somebody's birth, an occasion that cannot be redone, right? You fall, the camera stops working, things happen. You need to have a second body. It's a critical part of an arsenal if you have a second body. It doesn't have to be the same caliber camera as your main camera, but you should have a second body. And what I did was I had the D800 and the D700 was my second body. Now, this is a charging port for this, which I actually really love because it doesn't have the cables that you usually see, those long cords. So this is actually very compact. Plus, I like it that this flushes right in here. So in terms of storage, this is quite genius. So kudos to Canon for that level of detail. That's a biggie. And I've got this cable, and it looks like USB-C to USB-C, which will likely mean that the camera has USB outlets, so you'll be able to connect it to, for example, I'm taping this on my iPad Pro, so you'll be able to tape it on this. I also need to do another video for the iPad and why it is that I switched from $5,000 iMac to iPad. So yeah, this is just a cable. I'm not quite certain what this is, but I'm sure that when I read this, I will know exactly what this is, what to use it for, how to use it exactly. All right, so it has this, so it came like with all of these things here. So it's pretty firm, things are not moving about. And I have a strap. I never really use these, I just don't, because they get in the way, and I'm not somebody who generally shoots like travel and stuff. If I were a travel photographer, if I were generally walking around shooting, then if I were doing like outdoor landscaping, not travel photography necessarily, but then I would use a strap. It's so tiny though in comparison to my Nikon. I wish I had a Nikon strap to show you, but my Nikon strap is actually like twice as wide. So this, I don't know how it would feel on the neck, if it would be, you know, too thin, but it's pretty standard material, par for the course. It's very thin though in terms of the materials used. But this is a much lighter camera than what I had before. I also had a battery pack on my D800. So it was a D800, the battery pack with an extra battery. So 2 batteries in there, and in addition to the lens. So that was what I would walk around with. And I still would not use this because these got in the way, especially when I'm doing still photography. Most of my portfolio is still photography, and moving around things, moving around food, getting into different angles and stuff. The cord just gets in the way, so I don't generally use it. Now for the pièce de résistance, the star of the hour. My new baby, my blessing from God. Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. It's so light, oh my God. so light. It feels so different. Oh wow, look at this. That screen looks good. Of course I can't turn it on because the battery hasn't been charged. So when there's no battery in there, I'm going to have to charge the battery and have to see how long I will charge the battery for, how long it takes to charge the battery. Here is a battery port. And this is just so different from what I'm used to. I'm used to having like the dial over here and the screen readily available here. I don't look through the viewfinder. For the most part, I look through the live view, which would be the display here on this one. And the on and off button is over here. I'm used to mine being over here. It was over here on the Nikon D800. So it will take and over here used to be ISO for me and shutter speed dial. So the functions are different. It's gonna take me, I'm thinking it won't take me long to get into the hang of this, but it will definitely be a learning curve. And here is the SD card slot. And I don't have SD cards because those were also destroyed. They were soaked in water. So yeah, I need to get an SD card before I can shoot, in addition to charging the phone. Do you want to see? Okay, so yes, this is just a camera without a lens, and it's a wireless camera. Sorry, it's not a wireless, it's a mirrorless camera. It's so much lighter. I don't know if I like how light it feels. It just feels like a point and shoot. It doesn't have the, you know, that feeling of substance that I'm used to, but I'm grateful for it. I came to the decision to switch to EOS R after a lot of research. And it is, as much as it is a lot cheaper than the Nikon D800, it is an upgrade in technology because it is mirrorless and it's 30 megapixels, whereas my own was 20 something, 24 or something on the D800. And there's so many more specs. I'm not going to go through all the specs with you because this is not what this is about. If you want specs, then you can go find a million other YouTube videos with specs. I wanted to show you as a female photographer who's coming from equipment that was way more expensive. My experience of unboxing something that is a lot cheaper in this time, in this season, but in many ways, though it is less, it is an upgrade to some extent. No, it is not the camera that makes the photographer, it is the photographer that makes the camera. I can get excellent quality photos on a 5-year-old iPhone, not because I am using something wonderful, but because whatever skills you have, understanding light, understanding composition, framing, understanding how things work, is understanding a subject, all of those things, ISO, aperture, even on a phone, even though it's a lot simplified on a phone, if you understand the principles, you can use anything, including a phone, to get great photographs. However, if you have more technology, the more money and the more technology that you put in, then the greater returns you can get, because then you can get the camera to do things for you that you would not be able to do necessarily like with a phone. Plus the quality is different. The beauty of this is that it is a high megapixel camera as well, and it is full format. That's the major reason why I decided to buy this one. It's a full format camera. It is not a cropped camera. And in video, it's great for both video and photography. And I'm going to be doing a lot of YouTube videos. You see, I moved from using my 5-year-old iPhone Now I'm using the iPad that you are watching me on now, and then I'm gonna be using these for my YouTube videos, because video is gonna be a huge part of Chef and Steward moving forward. I love this. I just feel so cute. Yeah, so yeah, give me a moment to just soak this in. And so video is gonna be a really huge part of Chef and Steward moving forward. So I wanted to get a camera that would have done video great justice, just as it would have done photography great justice. And I believe that this is it. I haven't used it yet. This is just the unboxing, but I believe that it's gonna be a really, really wonderful thing. Plus, it's so light that I really think that I will enjoy. I found, to be honest with you, I didn't do as much nature and travel, like walking around with the camera and with my D800 setup with the extra camera battery and stuff like that, with the extra camera battery pack and the extra battery, as much as I did when I was shooting with a D700. I didn't have a battery pack on the D700 either. I just didn't. I did do travel stuff when I was commissioned to do so. So when I had hotels who would fly me in to do work with them, etc., brands and stuff, then I would definitely do the walking and stuff, like for farms, shooting farms as well, and all sorts of different things. So then, of course, if I'm being paid for it, then I walk with it. But in terms of a hobby perspective and shooting for more of artistic release, personal work, it didn't happen. And that could be a combination of things, including the weight as well as where I was in my life in that time. But I'm just making that association. This, however, feels like something I would want to walk around with. And I've heard many people say that as well. The reason why I got this camera is because I saw Matty Hoopla, I think his name is. And I was like, what's he shooting with? What's that? I want to know what he's shooting with. And I also saw Peter McKinnon. And it's just like God just said, I got the answer. They were shooting with an EOS R. Now, they do this mostly for vlogging, and the reason why this is really great for me is because Chef and Steward is a solo project. It wasn't before, but it is now, and that's also another story that deserves its own video. And well, then again, it probably was always a solo project. I did all the work anyway. But I didn't show you this, but anyway, other people have used it for vlogging, and I'm going to be using it for vlogging, like these kinds of videos, as well as also my food videos and my kitchen garden videos where there's nobody else shooting. So it has the camera, I will be in front of the camera, and there will be nobody behind the camera. And this is going to be a huge help for that, because I'm able to, oops, not that direction, this direction. So the screen now is facing the person who's standing in the camera, so I can actually gauge with a display without having to buy and attach a separate HDMI display and attach it to the camera. I can just do this, and then I can mount a microphone. Now, I already have a phantom powered Sony microphone, which I have an adapter for, that I'm probably just going to put in here. And there are two jacks here, one for mic and one for headphones, which is super cool. And this is a key. I don't know what this symbol is. This is a symbol for something. Again, I will know soon, but I just don't know now because we just opened it. And so those are the outputs so far. So I'm going to convert my XLR professional Sony mic, and I have a converter to get it into a 3.5 mic jack. So that adapter, so I'm going to be able to mount my microphone. I had the microphone all along. I could have had better audio all this time but because I had a phone and an XLR cable, because the system that I had before was designed to work together, and when the cameras were no longer there, then the other components couldn't work as well. So now we're gonna be able to get better quality sound. I'll be able to mount a lavalier mic. It would also be good for me to have the lavalier mic. Is important because I'll be going back and forth with the cooking, moving from stove, moving from different places, and again shooting on my own camera stationed on a tripod. I will get a hot shoe mic. I'm thinking is it NTG4 or something like that, +4, or a Sennheiser, something like that, to set separate on a boom pole. I'm also going to be unboxing some lighting for you eventually as well. So I'm showing you what the new setup is. So this has been a very interesting time. It's a season of upgrades, and it's a season of making the most of resources. I really, really value those persons who have invested in me getting back on my feet. I value my clients who have also invested. And if you want to also invest, you can check my Patreon in the description box, because I would love to have people on board. I'm going to be giving lots of videos. I'm going to do videos on food, on recipes, which I already have linked to my Chef and Steward blog, as well as other things that are going to be useful. I'm going to approach this channel a lot differently than other channels have approached food. I'm already doing that. I already do a Feed the Spirit kind of segment where we talk about the spiritual food that we need as well. We can't just feed the bodies. We have to feed also the spirit. And so I give talks about that. Plus, I have Thrive with Carrie, which is my radio show, which is going back into season 2. And it's gonna go into podcast production too, finally. So keep posted. There's a lot that's going on, and that show really is about helping to enrich people. This channel is about helping to enrich people, but that Thrive with Carrie is really about dealing with some issues that I can't really get into deeply on this channel, and so it gives me an opportunity to do that. So I would love for you to support all of the work that Chef and Steward does, all the productions that we do, whether the blog or this or Thrive with Carrie channel and radio show. And I also do webinars, and I'm working on translating some of my coaching programs. I've got coaching programs because I'm a certified professional coach, international professional certified coach, and NLP practitioner. And I have been doing lots of group coaching as well as executive coaching in hospitality, and with other persons as well, with individuals, executives, as well as senior managers and supervisors. So I'm going to be translating some of the courses I've been teaching and with group coaching into actual courses to make them more accessible for the average person. So you're all going to be able to do that. Plus, I've launched a Leap into Transition program, which is really profound. I have to do a video on that one, because it's helping people to take what was a brick and mortar approach to business and translate and to pivot into a digital age. And because I'm a presenter by training as well, and a presentation coach and executive coach who works with clients for media training, talking points, all of these things, I'm helping people really create an online brand that really resonates with them authentically. So if you know anybody who needs to really look into creating new income streams online and doing it in a way that is authentic and really true to who it is that they are and what they stand for. This is just not a gimmick or a hoax or anything. This is about real one-on-one mentorship. I've been working online in the digital platform for 10 years. My blog, Chef and Stewart, will be 10 years this year. And it has been a lot of hard work. I've lived in 2 different hemispheres, moved in 4 different countries, and I've managed to keep it going by the grace of God. So I'm going to be sharing all the things that I've learned, all the new technologies and everything. I'm already mentoring one other young lady, and she's taking it. She's grabbing the thing by the horns, and she's just going after it. And so you're gonna be seeing more of her as well, and I'm going to be sharing the success stories of those who have come through my Lead into Transition program to inspire you. So this has been my unboxing of the EOS R. How cute are we together, I think. But as a bonus, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you the first lens that I'm going to actually put with it, because you can't shoot a camera with a lens, right? So, I need to tell you that as well. My new kit, I'm going to give the links to all the things that I really wanted my new kit in the description box. So be sure to do that. Be sure also to subscribe to this channel and to click likes. Click like, because that helps with me also getting the support. And if you also buy anything through the links in the description box, that's another way of supporting me. So my best case kit now, I will tell you what it is. I will tell you what it is. I want the 24 to 70 because I love that mid-range telephoto. I had it before with the Nikon. I want to get it here. And so I'm getting RF lenses, which are the mirrorless lenses specifically for this. Now you could also get, or if you already shot Canon and you have EF lenses, you can get an adapter. There are 3 different kinds of adapters that they actually sell for the RF lenses to be used, for the EOS lenses to be used on the mirrorless camera. One of them that I really like has an ND filter on it, so you can actually have the ND filter, which is a variable filter at the back of the lens as opposed to the front, so you have, you know, less chromatic aberration and stuff, which is all just distortions around the edges and whatever. I don't want to get too technical with this. So yeah, I'm gonna get the 24 to 70, and I think it's f1.2. Oh, that to me, you wanna know what sexy is? Sexy is glass, sexy is equipment, sexy is food that has been done well, that has been styled. That's what sexy to me is. So I'm gonna get the 24. I'm gonna put the actual link to the lens that I'm talking about and probably show you a photograph of it as well. I think it's 1.2. I think it's 1.2. There's also, and these are also image stabilizing lenses because there's no IBIS in the camera itself. There is a crop on 4000. This shoots 4000K video, and there's a crop on the 4000K, so I'll work with it to see how it goes. But I think likely I'll be shooting video in 1080p on this one and upgrading when I'm uploading to YouTube to upload to 4K, so it will have really, really great quality. And I'm also going to be getting at some point, and this is critical for my portfolio, the 24 to 70, and there's a 15 to 35 telephoto. It's a very wide zoom, which is really great for vlogging because it means that I could be like this close, which is a distance of about maybe 3 feet from the camera, and I would still have like a wider shot. I wouldn't be like so tight in the shot like it probably would be if I had a lens that was not as wide. So that's a beautiful lens. It's definitely a 1.2 as well, so that's also gonna be in my kit. And I'm thinking that I also want the 85mm EF with an adapter because I like 85 macros. I like macros. I have a macro lens. I'm gonna show it to you. Boom! I got this before. So this came before the camera. And it is, yeah. I don't like shooting on this iPad for the purpose that the camera, when it's in this landscape mode, is to the left over here, and the screen is over here. So it's kind of hard to remember to look over here for the camera, because the eyes generally gravitate to wanting to see yourself on display. And it's so far that it's easy to see that you're actually looking off camera. So that will take practice as well. So this is a 35mm macro. And I think because there's a crop in 4K, I could actually probably try and do something so that it looks to be more like a, depending on the size of the crop, I'll have to say, it would probably look more like a 60 maybe millimeter lens. I also got something for this. This is a 50mm ring, and I already have a variable filter that I was using for my 24-70 Nikon f2.4. So what I did was I got a step up adapter to put on this one, so that instead of buying another one for this size lens, I just put that my converters on, and then I put my the filter on top of it. So I have the filters on that. I also, the lens is very, very small. Maybe I should do this separately as a separate video for this 35mm lens. I was just showing you because yes, I do have equipment to shoot just now, and I'll put it on the camera. Usually I would take my air pump and blow out. So red to red, red line to red line. Okay, this turns the opposite way from the Nikon, so I was actually moving it. Then again, how do I even remember? It's been almost a year since I've been able to do this. So okay, there it is. Now it feels a little bit better. I really do love the grip. The grip is nice. It's very ergonomic. I think I'm gonna want eventually as well a battery pack, because I like that lower weight here. But this is nice. The lens, I will do a different video on this lens, to do a review on this lens. But this is gonna be the boom. I'm gonna charge the battery, and then in a little while I'm going to start shooting. And I think I'll start shooting with the garden, because I just took it out of the bag. I probably didn't show you. Yeah, so let's come to this. And so I've got things to reap in the garden, and I didn't want to reap them until I actually use this camera. So I'm going to be reaping peppers, and guess what? I saw zucchini. I have a zucchini coming up. We have about 10 tomatoes on one tree that Judge planted, and we also have other tomatoes coming up. My lettuce got killed. This is not a garden video, but I'm just saying that I've got lots of stuff to shoot with this camera reaping in the garden. I'm gonna be cutting some callaloo and probably cooking some callaloo today as well. So another kitchen, I have to come up with a recipe. I know what recipe to make with the callaloo. My callaloo quiche recipe is on the blog, but I'm gonna do a video for it. How about that? And in addition to that, remember that I promised to you guys that when I reach 1,000 subscribers, I would have a giveaway. So stay tuned to hear more about the giveaway, the conditions for the giveaway. But the giveaway, anybody who is all across the world can actually apply and enter to win the giveaway, but there are conditions that really must be applied to that offer. So stay tuned to this channel. Remember to like, give me a thumbs up on this, hit the subscribe button, turn notifications on so that you can be notified when I put out a video. And if you want me to talk about more of the things, like the equipment that I'm using and how it is that I get things done, and to show you how I shoot things, how my setup is, let me know in the comments before. Tell me. So yeah, see you next time. Thanks for watching. Much love. Peace.